Apparently, more and more parents are replacing traditional babysitters, actual people who would watch a baby or a child, with an alternative, which is quite cheap, actually. It's a camera that watches the kid and then updates a smartphone app. And that's what's being used to watch a baby or a young child while the parents are out and about. And that's causing some dangerous consequences and legal ramifications for the parents engaging in this. So let's go into a couple of examples. Last fall, Nicole, a North Carolina mom, took her first vacation since giving birth to our 1-year-old son. She and her husband packed their Owlet Cam baby monitor, left their infant in their Outer Banks apartment rental, and headed to the beach, a walk of 5 minutes away. It's unusual, she said, for her to leave her little one unattended while they monitor him remotely. She said, "We sat on the beach and watched the monitor. The monitor has a built-in app that pings her phone with notifications when it senses movement or sound. They say they do it all the time, and they say that they frequently go back to check." So Nicole is not in any legal trouble, was just quoted in this article, but others are. So this week, the wife of late ABC News producer Dax Tahara was arrested for allegedly endangering their daughters, who are 5 months old and 2 years old, just hours after her husband suffered from a fatal heart attack. They had left their children alone in a hotel room at the Manhattan Yale Club while they visited a steakhouse around the corner. You can see a photo right there. It's obviously tragic regardless. He died at a quite young age from a heart attack. Veronica, senior producer at the Washington Post, claimed that the couple were monitoring the kids using a remote video system that connected to Dax's phone. The widow has now been charged with 2 counts of acting in a manner injurious to a child, and later admitted that leaving her babies unattended was a poor decision. So I don't have children, JR. I know you're a parent. Look, I think people are gonna have very strong opinions about this, and who knows how accurate the first depiction is. It sounded like they were pretty close to the room. It's not the same thing as the room being down the hall, though, when you're at the beach. But you do have something giving you automatic updates. What was your reaction when you heard about people doing this?
Well, I figured people do this all the time. It's just for some reason someone wanted to publicize it.
So you assumed that this is happening?
With just the normal BS baby monitors that didn't have the pings on your phone, and there's baby picture monitors, monitors where you can see the kid and everything, night vision, all that stuff people have. I figured once we had that, I mean, even when it was just audio, people were like, peace. But that's, I'm a worrier, I still tell my kid now, he's 11 years old. I still tell him, hey bro, if you step on that way, if you run down the hall with that sock on, that slides, you're gonna bust your head. Like, I'm constant. I'm sure he's tired of me doing that. So I don't have I can't relax. I can't go 5 minutes to the beach and go, because all I'll be going is, oh my God, okay, so as long as I have 1 foot in the sand, if something happens, I can get there in 35 seconds if I run this. I'm too busy worried to have any fun, so I can't do it. But some people can relax and they think that's a good enough fail safe for it. So I don't think this is new at all, and I'm sure many people wouldn't admit it. So the first problem here is that they admitted it, but then after that, then you get arrested for it. Now I feel really bad for that particular family, though. Who knows what she's going through?
I mean, yeah, they just lost
after they just lost, her husband and the father. So I would go a little lenient on her considering no one got hurt, but it's tough. People do stuff sometimes when they're trying to piece it together.
It's so tough. It takes years and years and years before the child is self-sufficient, even for limited periods of time. Never being more than a few minutes away is obviously rough, and yet tragedies do happen. And so even third parties can look and say, you're measurably increasing the risk of that happening. And yet it's obviously difficult to always be right there. And babysitters are expensive. People are in tough economic times. People make hard decisions, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Yeah. I once Googled, as a result of a TV show I was watching, how many children die as a result of being left in hot cars every year. Don't do that, because it is not zero, and it's way, way too many. And so, yeah, by the way, this is not necessarily very specifically illegal in a lot of places. There's 3 states that have an actual listed minimum age for leaving a child home alone. It's 14 in Illinois, 8 in Maryland, and 10 in Oregon. And then there's more general guidelines that are kind of vague in a lot of other cases. And the fear there for me would be, well, then don't you kind of get to, on a case-by-case basis, decide who it should apply to, who it shouldn't. And if you're a person with various sorts of biases, then maybe you'll see certain sorts of behavior by certain sorts of people to be more naturally dangerous than others. That's sort of my fear too. I don't know how often these sorts of laws are invoked, but yeah, that's what I would be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a matter of getting caught, right? If you have laws about how old a kid can be when they're alone, if you leave your kid when he's 7, if nobody catches you, you start going 7 is a good age, because it's the kid made it the first time and nothing went wrong. He didn't try and reach the cookies on the top shelf while standing on a step stool and 1 foot hanging off, things like that. So some kids are calm, some kids follow the rules, and you're like, I got it, it's okay. Yeah. Until you get caught.
Yeah. By the way, so did you have one of those apps for when you left Wyatt at home and went to Canada for a week?
Kidding. It made traveling much easier.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.